and it is another wonderful day here in the Shire. It is hot. Oh, my Lord. Oh, goodness, Joe, Lord, have mercy, it's hot.
It is.
I looked at my phone last night, and it was like, it will be 7 degrees hotter tomorrow than it is today, and I was like, please, no.
I mean, 7 degrees, it sounds so trivial until you're experiencing it.
Yeah.
At which point...
Well, it's super humid.
Super
humid. Like wet on the walls humid. And
it's nearly 90 degrees.
Well, no, it's over 90 degrees. And there's no insulation in anything around here. All these houses are like 100 to 200 years old. They weren't built for air conditioning, you know? Like they were built for people to sweat it the hell out or go down to the creek, you know? Like if you're hot, there is a calm spot in that creek, and that creek is cold, clear, and cold again.
I've been wanting to hit it for like weeks.
Giggity.
We're going to go over by Rob's house, and that is so...
Well, you know,
cold.
my options for swimming publicly are really limited, and that's why the river has been so attractive, because there's never anyone in it. Ever. But yeah, on days
I grew
like
up
today where it's just unbearably hot.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, so what I want to do is I want to just shut up and get into this. We do this sometimes. We have like long clips. Zaytuna College, attached to Berkeley University in California, is the only college that's teaching communication, grammar, rhetoric, trivium logic to their students. And they're saying, you know what, we're going to teach you this first. It's freshman year, first semester stuff. You have to learn this, and if you don't, we're not going to teach you anything about religion. So I was inspired today to have a little discussion about communication and words. Do words have meanings? Do they mean things? I think they do, and well, so does the scholar here. What happened? Oh, no. No, don't do that. Oops. My bad. So, there we go. Now.
The ulama traditionally started any science with 10, what they call al-mabadi al-ashara. Every science has what are called al-mabadi al-ashara. And these are like, al-mabda in Arabic is a beginning place. It's the place where you begin something. So it's a foundation, it's something that everything else starts from or emanates from. And so they considered that there were 10 foundations that you should know before you actually started in on something. And there are many versifications of these things, but probably one of the most famous is إن المبادئ كل فن عشرة الحد والموضوع ثم الثمرة. Every science, fen, and the Arabs traditionally called a branch of knowledge a fen, the art of. Like we talk about the art of poetry or the art of this or the art of medicine. So it's very similar to that idea. The fen is the art of something. So everything had these, every art has 10 mabadi or beginning points. Al-haddu is the definition of a thing. And so the definition of something is getting to the essence of it. And one of the things about modern people is that they don't really know hudud anymore. Like in Arabic, tilka hudud Allah, fala ta'taduha. These are the limits that God has sent. And so don't transgress the limits. The limits of language are the definitions, the had that you use. It's very important when we speak that we understand the words that are being used. One of the great problems in human societies is the breakdown of communication. If I use a word like freedom, what is the definition of freedom? Americans are always talking about freedom. What is freedom? Hurriya. Because in Arabic, freedom is very different from the definition of freedom in this culture. for instance, freedom in the pre-Islamic culture, the hur was in contradistinction to the slave. So a free person was somebody who was not a abd. The hur and the abd. Now, one of the interesting things about Islam is it makes you Abdullah. Now, if you're Abdullah, what does that mean in the relationship to everything else? You're free. Because the ubudiyya is only to Allah. It's not to anything else. And so, the hur, the Arab poet says, al-hurru abdun ma tam', that the free man is a slave as long as he's covetous, as long as he's greedy, as long as he wants. Wal-abdu hurrun ma tam', and the slave is a free man if he's content. Which gets to the essence of the Arab understanding of freedom before Islam. That freedom is moral freedom. It's freedom from want, not freedom to. In our culture, freedom has almost been entirely defined by freedom to. Now, I'm using this just as an example because I could give a whole talk just on freedom and the different ideas about freedom, but I'm only using that as a segue into the idea that when terms are not defined, miscommunication arises. So, if you're talking about aggression, to me, and your understanding of aggression is my understanding for terrorism, we don't have a dialogue. So you're saying I'm an aggressor and I'm saying you're a terrorist for, I mean, this is like the Arabs who say, one of the Jahili Arabs was asked, you know, what is oppression? Ma huwa haddul jawr? What is the definition of injustice? And he said, when my neighbor comes and takes my goats and my camels and my women, because they had razaya, they had, you know, the ghuzat, the Arabs in Jahili Arab, they used to go and attack the other people. And he said, what's justice? And he said, when I go take his goats and his camels and his women. So the Arabs also say, ba'ukum tajurru wa ba'ila tajur. You know, your preposition works in the sentence, but you're not granting my preposition the same agency. I mean, that's a grammarian's way of saying the same thing.
He's in climate.
So, a Yemeni told me, he said the whole problem with America, he said, it's like the wolf that came down and the sheep was drinking from the pond, and he said, I'm gonna eat you. And he said, why? And he said, kaddart alayya al-ma, you know, you got the water all muddy. And the sheep said, when? He said, last year. And the sheep said, I wasn't born last.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. saveitpurse.com.
Hi, I'm Derek J. To me, an activist's calling is to actively work to advance a cause. The cause for which I work is personal freedom. I believe my life is best when I engage in voluntary interactions and self-government. I reject the idea that anyone else has a higher claim to my life or my body than I do. I see people who call themselves the government as a threat to my personal freedom. I realize you may feel differently, but my relationship with the people who call themselves the government is completely involuntary. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in Liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.fm. Unasikiliza wito wa uhuru katika LRN.fm.
All right, welcome back into the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM, broadcasting live from our Zencast studio here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. It is it is a scorcher out there today. We are sweating balls in the Zencast studio here.
Well, I'm not.
Well, yeah, but it doesn't matter. Sweating balls is sweating balls, whether you got them or not.
I mean, it's not that. It's just I'm not dressed to sweat.
Oh, I am.
Yeah,
not
you're wearing
either.
Black and jeans and stuff.
Well, yeah, but this is not dressed to sweat. This is just dressed to live for me. So we are having a discussion today about the use of language. Do words have meanings? Should we agree on what those meanings are before we can have a conversation? Doesn't it seem like it would be, I don't know, important for people to be able to agree on the definition of a word before we start arguing over said word?
I mean, it's imperative. If I say to you that, a tree is outside, that only means something to you if you know what a tree is. If when I say tree, you think of cloud, then you could very well just walk outside and walk right into the tree. Saying that, and then go, but there's no tree out here, looking up at the clear blue sky.
Right.
Like, I don't know what I'm talking about. So, I mean, and this is, why it ties into our third segment. It's all about the logical absolutes and that A equals A. When I say tree, I mean a tree. Tree means itself.
Well, we're going to get back into this clip from Zaytuna College so we can get the last 4 minutes of it out of the way. We can continue on with what I hope will be a very good conversation.
Matt, you got the water all muddy. And the sheep said, when? He said, last year. And the sheep said, I wasn't born last year. And the wolf said, well, your father did it. So we don't have communication, so you have to identify things. Now the word had means limit. Mahdud means limited. Like Imam Tahawi says about God, la hududa. God has no had, has no limit. He's limitless, without limit. So a definition defines something and gives you, and it's done through what they call tard wa aks. It's done through exhausting the possibilities. So when you describe, if you give a definition of a human being, the logicians defined the human being in the Arabic tradition as al-hayawan al-natiq. Right? This is the al-hayawan al-natiq, the speaking animal. That we're animal, we're hayawan, but we're not like other animals because we're rational. We can speak, we can articulate. That's why in Arabic, logic is called mantiq, which is the tool by which you speak. So the natiq is the one that can speak and make arguments and set up arguments. That is the definition of a human being. And then you have descriptions of human beings. A lot of people confuse descriptions with definitions. So when we look at the definition of tafsir, haddu tafsir, what is tafsir? In order to get to a definition, you have to look, first of all, the Arabs, the scholars of this tradition always say, you have to explain the term. You have to know the definition of the term itself. The term tafsir comes from al-fasar, which is kashf, to unveil or to remove a veil from something, to remove something so that you can see it. كشفنا عنك الغطاء. We have removed the ghita from your eyes. We've removed the ghita. People have a ghita. They have this veil over their eyes. Allah says that He removes that veil on Yawm al-Qiyamah. And then فَبَصُرُكَ الْيَوْمَ حَدِيد. Today your eyes are like hadid, piercing, eagle eyes. So the word, and when you get into ilm al-ishtiqaq, which is a very interesting knowledge in Arabic, which is the science of word derivations and the fact that words that share letters have similar meanings. And this is throughout Arabic, which is one of the miracles of Arabic and a proof that the language is tawqifiyya, that no human beings could have worked this out to put, because words share a letter like ilm, amal, and lama'. You know, if you just switch the words around, ilm, and then put amal, and then lama', those are the three that come out of that. So ilm is knowledge, amal is action, action is based on knowledge, and when people know something and act according to their knowledge, they become lama', brilliant. Al-ma'i is a brilliant scholar. So they're related. Now fasar in Arabic is kashafna. Another related word is safar, to journey. What happens when you journey? Journeys are about discovery. Journeys are about unveiling. The Arabs say, yusfiru an damirihi. He's telling me what's inside. He's revealing his innermost thoughts to me. The Arabs say that the musafir is the one yusfiru an khuluqihi. A traveler will let you know his character, because when people travel, their character gets unveiled. So the tafsir is the science of unveiling the meanings of Quran. It's to reveal the meanings of Quran. That's the had.
All right, Arya.
Well, I mean, there's not much I can say that he didn't already say.
Right.
I mean, so much of what he said is things that I talk about regularly and have actually written a book about. And the only thing I would add is that miscommunication, it arises even when words are defined. And simply because the two people disagree, they may even agree on the definition, but the the disparity comes about because the definition being used doesn't actually represent the essence of what it's supposed to represent. The example I love most is the police, because to so many people, the word police, it invokes this image of fine, upstanding, moral citizens who are just trying to protect society and make it better, when the reality of it is it's a gang of vicious thugs who roam throughout the land, harassing, oppressing, and murdering people.
Car 54, where are you, is long gone.
Yeah. But it's impossible to reach those people who have that warped understanding of what the word police means, because they built their entire worldview around their unique, inaccurate understanding of these words. And when they have their worldview based on it, they invest emotionally in it. Everything becomes dependent upon these distorted realities that they can no longer comprehend because the words don't represent what they're supposed to.
All right, when we get back here on the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM, we're going to continue on with a discussion of words, meanings, definitions. Do we need to agree on what the definition of a word is before a conversation can move ahead productively? Can you just change the definitions of words because? Well, we'll talk about that when we get back here on the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. If you want to get involved, give us a call at 603-283-6160. We'll be right back.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp, is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you're helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at Bitcoin.com. That's Bitcoin.com. The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
Did you know you can get news updates about what's happening with the Liberty Radio Network delivered in the way you prefer? You can sign up for our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. Plus, you can stay in the loop by joining our Facebook profile at facebook.lrn.fm or follow us at Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm. It's all free, so sign up now at updates.lrn.fm for news updates delivered to your email box, facebook.lrn.fm to follow our Facebook page, and twitter.lrn.fm to receive our tweets.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom
live on LRN.FM. تستمعون إلى نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.FM.
Rick? Hey, Morty. Rick? Are you far away or are you inside something? Is the camera? Is everything a camera?
Welcome back here to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. Broadcasting live from our Zencash studio here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And we've been having a discussion about words. That's right. Words. Seems pretty simple, but it turns out it really isn't. Words, they seem to be fluid at the moment. Orwell talked about how there would be this effort to redefine words, and basically just to say, well, words don't mean what they mean when I say them.
Well, it's because we think in words, and I don't think that's something that's natural. I think it's something that we learned from very early ages, and so as I was talking about earlier, the essence of what that word is gets lost, and superimposed upon it is what we think that word means.
Now, the inspiration for this today was
an idiot.
Yes. So there was a discussion with a young lady, and she's basically, this guy's like, look, there's this cat. He convinced 200 Ku Klux Klan members to give up their racist views, and he did it by communicating with people, creating relationships with people, doing good work, not by taking a physical stand. But now she's not willing to define what this physical stand is. I've asked this girl over and over again, I need your definition of what you mean. What she says is KKK and Nazi bigotry is harmful to society, and that having to invest 100 years fighting it peacefully is the theft of your life and liberty. I don't think, and that's her view. If you have to fight peacefully for 100 years and have yet to win, then the method is not effective.
Okay, what is she talking about? Martin Luther King was a big deal for like 3 years before he was killed, and he would have achieved what he set out to do if they hadn't been co-opted by the left.
From him,
I don't think we can say that.
Well, she's counting from him to today.
If he hadn't been co-opted by the left, absolutely. But I mean, everything he said was
What do you mean by co-opted by the left?
I mean, they have played him on his own and twisted
the Democrat
it into
Party
race should matter.
Saw a way to use race to get a bunch of extra votes.
Yeah, Malcolm X warned about it. Martin Luther King himself warned about it. I mean, they knew it was going to happen, and
LBJ himself admitted to it.
Co-opted if he knew it, if he admitted it was
in his death.
In his death,
his
yeah.
words. Do you not, Tom?
Come on, man. You know in American history,
His words.
someone
all right, now we're talking about
shot
definitions
him.
of words. The
Jesus
man's
has been
words are not the
co-opted
same
as
the man.
well.
Someone
And so
shot
Jesus-
him, and now his memory.
Jesus'
You have
image has been co-opted.
you
Jesus
have
himself has
people
not.
who advocate gun control and socialism who are teaching about they're giving lectures about Malcolm X, and they're cutting out his condemnation of gun control and his words. And if you challenge them, on their rewriting of the memory of this man, they simply call you a racist.
Yeah, speaking of words, I mean, that's
You're
what
a white
co-opt
man. How
literally
dare
means.
you tell me you know more about Malcolm X than I do? It's like, well, here's a video of his words. It's pretty simple language, like if you vote Democrat or Republican and you are black or a person of color, you are a chump.
And we were just talking about being specific in how we define things. There's a difference between co-opting the image of someone and co-opting the person themselves.
Yes,
They
and
can't
we were
co-opt
avoiding
Malcolm X, he's
pedantry.
dead.
The movement is what was co-opted. The movement of these men was co-opted by the political left.
I would assume that when we're talking about dead people and I say that someone was co-opted by the left, it would be assumed that I was not talking about them digging up his grave and making his skeleton dance for them, Tom.
You know what? Well, you know what
That's not
happens when you
clarifying things.
assume.
That's being pedantic.
And now you're saying, well, when I use this word, it means X, even though the plain language of it
because the
means
dude
Y.
is dead and rotting in the ground. It's one of those things that shouldn't have to be stated.
Well, that's exactly why the first thing.
Okay,
that you
well
said
then let
was
me
the person
clarify.
is
The
being
left did
co-opted.
not dig up Martin Luther King and make his skeleton dance for them. They co-opted his
Nor-
message and his movement and what he was supposed to have represented.
Nor did they co-opt the man
I'm sorry for having to
himself,
take
even when he was
650 words to say something that could have been said in 4.
Well, that's what you have to do if you're going to say we need to define language precisely and define our thoughts precisely.
Yes,
And that's why it's a
and for
pain.
books that's okay. But we're doing a radio show where we don't need to spend an entire segment explaining the meaning of the word co-opt.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, I thought the entire point of the segment is that you do need to be precise in your language, because otherwise,
Yes,
it's
and I was
hypocritical to hold
precise. You
people
were
to that
pedantic.
standard.
Well, no, it's not
hypocritical
about.
to hold people to the standard.
Well,
of,
no,
well,
what
you
we're
have to be very
saying
precise
is
in your language, but
the
you're not willing to
use
do it
of
yourself.
semantics and redefining terms is a problem. That people will say something, and when you call them on saying it, they'll be like, well, actually, it's like the Bill Weld didn't
Well,
endorse
Tom
Hillary
just
Clinton.
literally did that to me. I mean, he said
it's
that I
like the
was
whole-
using it in this special way, and I
I
reject
vouch
that.
Bill
No,
Weld
you
says
were using it in a way, and I challenged you on what that way was. There is, see.
Yes,
and
you were
here's the
rejecting the
thing.
idea that a person can be a metaphor. Or a dead person can be a
People aren't
symbol.
metaphors. People are people.
That's why I clarified it just then before you
person's a
interrupted me
person.
with a dead person can be a symbol.
A person's a person, no matter how small.
anyway.
It's
I
Dr.
challenged this young lady on
This
like
is pedantic, Tom. I'm not
Look,
doing this anymore.
What do you mean when you say direct action? Because she keeps saying direct action and stand up and fight back. I'm like, well, what are you meaning? Like, what does that
It's
mean?
exactly what I just did to Arya, and you both
Stop.
got mad about it. So now you know how much of a jackass you can sound like when you push it.
I
too
said
far.
you
Because we're
you
not
stated
being pedantic in discussion with this chick. We're asking her what she means by taking direct action.
you.
I will
from
tell you-
her
stated.
perspective, you are being pedantic.
I will
It
gladly
goes
tell
both
you what I
ways.
mean by co-opt, and I did so.
You don't sound glad. You
She
sound like you're
states-
pissed at me.
I'm not glad that we're
Because I
now
asked
10
you to
minutes
do the same
into
thing
it.
Will asked this girl to do.
I can't.
Because the initial
is the entire
clarification
point.
took care of it. But there is enormous difference between what do you mean by taking direct action against this
Mm-hmm.
ideology and making me clarify that I didn't mean the Democrats had dug up Martin Luther King's body and made his skeleton dance. There is such
But I
a
was
world
but
of
you
difference
also
between
needed
those.
to clarify that you were not saying that they co-opted the man while he was alive, when the man while he was alive spoke against what they were doing.
I did
And that's where
clarify
we
that.
started.
I said he spoke
Yeah,
out
you
against
had
it and
to.
warned about well, then what are you raising issue with? I did that. I
Because
said it
the
before
first
you
thing
spoke
said
up.
was not precise enough.
Because I
Just
was
like
still
Will is saying,
talking.
the first thing that this young lady
Tom,
said was not
rewatch this
precise enough.
episode tonight. I literally said that Martin Luther King himself spoke out against it. That's proof that he could not have been co-opted while he was alive.
So what you're saying is you said contradictory things that require clarification.
All right, Tom, you're a lawyer. Tell me, do these two statements sound the same thing. Talking does no good. Talking doesn't work.
I would have to know more about the conversation.
The conversation is about defeating race. The conversation is about defeating racism and prejudice.
I mean, in literal terms, no. Talking can work by doing something bad. I mean, if that's her definition.
Talking can do good even if it doesn't get to your goal.
I mean, putting a gun to someone's head and pulling the trigger works.
Because if you're saying
it's not good,
if you're saying it doesn't work to achieve X, you might be right, but it still might do good.
See, I told you only a lawyer would think the way that she's. I mean, I straight up said, I was like, "You sound like Bill Clinton. Are you a lawyer?"
Depends on what "is" means.
Exactly. That's what I said too. I was like, "You sound like you're trying to figure out what is the definition of "is." Well, that depends.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at SurvivorMax.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Imagine someone in your community getting in their car, turning on the radio, and hearing the Liberty Radio Network. You can make that vision a reality with your own micro radio station. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how you can put our programs on the air in your area. You can have LRN.FM running around the clock, and you can even add in your own local shows. Building a radio station is simple, but programming isn't. That's where LRN.FM comes in. Learn more at broadcast.lrn.fm. That's broadcast.lrn.fm.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com. The 3 most important things you can do for LRN.FM are: 1. Let your friends know you're listening to LRN.FM on your social networking profile. 2. Buy the things you buy online through shop.lrn.fm. 3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm. It's my firm belief that the AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented groups. Support all your favorite organizations, but make sure you give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm.
In a move that puzzled patrons of the global fast food chain, McDonald's launched an extensive ad campaign this week entitled, "And Yet Is Not Beef Itself an Expression of Wanton Lust?" to air at prime time on several networks. The lengthy advertisement, which makes scant reference to any products or promotions, posits to viewers that perhaps beef is merely a symbolic expression of lust in its most wanton and depraved form.
When we call for beef, what are we really asking for? Is it the caress of a gentle lover? Or the blade of an executioner? The rage of steel on bone? Would you yourself deny beef? Would beef deny itself of you?
In other news, a spaced-out flower child is grooving on a doobie wave. A new study reveals nothing Pfizer's lawyers can't take care of, and the parents of an adorable child on a TV show are most likely insane. Thus ends nature's majestic cycle of weekly news reviews, only to gracefully begin itself anew in exactly 1 week's time.
This is the Onion News Network. If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
This is Angel Clark, and you're listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.fm.
All right, welcome back to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM, broadcasting live from our Zencast studio here in beautiful Keene, New Mexico. It is a beautiful day.
New Hampshire. Will.
Oh,
it feels like New Mexico.
Crap.
It does feel like New Mexico. I don't know where that came from.
Me neither.
I wasn't even reading.
Been to New Mexico?
I wasn't even reading anything about Mexico. I'm just really hot. Hot. Yeah, that's what I said. I'm really hot. Really hot. It's retarded outside. Anyway, so yeah, the discussion was about what does it mean when someone says talking isn't a solution. We need to take a physical stand. What does that mean? If they're not willing to say what that means,
it is obvious what she means.
But there's
that's exactly the problem, is that she's unwilling to actually say what she means.
Yes, and instead it becomes righteous indignation. You misquoted me. I didn't say direct action. I said physical stand, and I'm like, okay, so I took what you said and made it sound a lot nicer than what you really said.
No, you said two different things. Direct action and physical stand are completely different. Because direct action could be non-physical. It could be verbal.
Oh, well, I said direct action.
Will's was nicer.
Well, like I said, mine was nicer than what she said.
It was different is the important part, because we're talking about precision and language. One of these things is not like the other. One of these things doesn't belong.
Exactly. What I said was a lot more toned down than what she actually did say. And that was her argument, was you misrepresented what I said. And I'm like, yeah, I made you sound a lot more peaceful than you actually are. What are you offended over?
Maybe she didn't want to sound peaceful.
Well, no, that's just it, though. Then why is she
another really important difference.
Why would she refuse to say what is taking a physical stand?
Well, hold on, because a physical stand is defensive. Taking direct action is offensive. So you did flip it around and make her into the aggressor. Yeah, if somebody comes up to me and is like, hey, I hate trans people, I think you should die, taking a physical stand is standing my ground. But taking direct action, while you're right, it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm the aggressor. It does allow for the possibility where, while taking the physical stand does not. The physical stand is solely defensive, and the direct action can be either.
Okay.
A physical stand can definitely be not just defensive. A physical stand can definitely be offensive.
Talking can do good, but it doesn't work in stopping the harm of bigotry.
I mean, that's just blatantly wrong.
No, it's true. Talking doesn't stop the harm of bigotry. They can start to redress it. They can start to work through it, but it doesn't stop it.
But it does. But it does, because bigotry is the result of bigots. And if you're talking, then it's at least strongly implied that you're talking to the bigots.
This is in response to a story about a black guy who converted 200 Ku Klux Klan members away from the Klan. And her argument is, that's great, I'm glad, but it will take too long doing it his way, so we need to take a physical stand.
And that's a legitimate argument.
No, it's not. It's like Will has said before, that, things are improving, it's just not happening fast enough for the left. So they want to forcibly speed things up.
I mean,
But-
it certainly
yeah,
didn't
but-
happen fast enough for Malcolm X or Martin Luther King. They're dead before we've ever even achieved anything close to the equality they wanted.
Utopia is always one more law, one more gulag, one more pogrom away. And that's the problem, is that the left is saying that's a valid way of getting where they want to be,
Yeah,
is
you
to
cannot use violence
physical
to speed up
violence.
social progress.
Yeah, you can't use violence to speed up social progress. Anytime that's
It
happened,
regresses it.
exactly, things go backwards. What happened when they tried to use violence to speed up social progress in the South after the Civil War? What happened? Oh, wait.
Well, Jim Crow's old now.
It is now. And did they use violence to get rid of Jim Crow? No.
Yes. By the way that a lot of the white supremacists were defining violence, they were defining the sit-ins and
So they were
freedom
improper.
rides.
Oh,
Yes,
so
but
you
using
mean
an
that
improper
the
definition doesn't make it
racists were
valid.
doing what the left is doing now, saying that protesting and speech and talking and saying things that they don't like equals violence? The left is
The
doing
white
the same
supremaci-
thing now that the white supremacists
So
were
is
doing
the
then.
right. The right is still saying peaceful protest is violent because it makes me late to work and crap like that.
Yes, and we reject their definitions as invalid, and we attempt to correct their definitions.
Well, this is a girl who thinks that if the KKK is having a rally in the middle of a town, that you should go and meet them with violence, even if they themselves aren't committing violence, because
Sounds like a plan to me.
their very existence is offensive to her. But that's not
It
the way
is.
things work in civil society, Tom.
Well, I realize that it's
Well, if civil
subjective, but
society
I
is
reject
oppressing
that
people, then
as
civil
immoral.
society has no value. The only value of
Saying
civility
mean
is venom.
words
Hold on,
is
we-
not oppression, Tom.
We have to back up. The problem here is the state. The KKK being in power in the state would actually absolutely use that power to oppress people, but the problem there is the state and not racists. If these guys own businesses or work for companies or whatever, then they lack the power to oppress other people. They can be jerks, and they can have their actions will still have consequences, but it will not constitute oppression. So
Thank
the
you.
issue that you
So-
have there is with the state, not the KKK and not with racism. It's the state and how the state uses that power always to oppress. And it
What if
doesn't really matter from my point of view
For
whether
real,
they're
yeah,
oppressing
Jim,
white people
the-
or black
the
people or
problem
trans
in-
people or straight
the
people.
problem in the
as
South with-
happened in Charlottesville, the state is intentionally taking a passive stance and simply allowing the private oppression to occur. Then how
What
can you
private oppression?
necessarily-
What private oppression?
Running over protesters with cars?
That's not an act. That's an act, a single act of violence.
I
That's
would-
not
By a
oppression.
private
Hold on. I would
person,
agree
not
with
by
you,
the
Tom,
state.
that does constitute oppression. But I would also agree with you that by its very nature, that act constitutes a state. That person becomes a state when they attempt to use violence to enforce their way of life onto others. That's the definition of the state that anarchists use.
That is not how most people would use the term state.
Because they don't have
So
a
you can
valid
see how-
definition for it. Try to
It doesn't
define it sometime
matter
without
if-
using the
if-
anarchist definition. It's circular. It says
if
a
a
state is a
jackass
government and a
hits-
government is a state.
If a jackass hits Arya with a car in Keene, New Hampshire, because he doesn't like transgendered people, that does not oppress Jeffree Star in New York City. That does not oppress Natasha Richards in Daytona, Florida. That does not. In Tampa, Florida. That does not oppress Bunny Devine in Daytona, Florida. None of these other trans people are oppressed or have their rights violated because idiot 1 violates the rights of person 2.
And I would go even further and say that
Again,
I
if
wouldn't be
idiot
oppressed in
one's
that
acts and he's
situation
getting away
because
with
I would
it
shoot them
emboldens others.
as they were driving toward me or as they were driving away.
Yeah, but no one's saying anything about them getting away with anything. This idiot's going to prison. No one's been emboldened. Chris Cantwell's been castrated. You know, he purrs like a kitten now. He loves Arya. So it's
Wait a minute, when did this happen?
nobody is being oppressed. If somebody said mean no words. That is not oppression. Oppression is when someone takes your rights or withholds your rights. Somebody said mean no words to me and made me feel bad. That's not oppression.
I mean, the only people actually advocating
Sure, it can
systemic
be.
oppression today is the left.
Horse manure.
to the extent that their editors of the New York Times can just say horrifically racist things as long as they're targeted at white people or people on the right in general.
Hillbillies, that's one that I think is kind of, because that's my culture. Yeah. It's okay to mock me.
Well, that's also our word.
It is our word, and they get to use it. I'm not allowed to use that. This Jiang chick, she can refer to me as inbred. Use the term inbred hillbilly, so you can use negative cultural stereotypes against my culture. That's totally okay because.
Well, I would agree that
white.
It's okay, but they are seeking state power.
The problem is not from their supposed social view. It's completely hypocritical from their supposed self-professed social views. That's the problem that I have, is that if she said anything even along that line about a person of another culture, they would run her out of town on a rail.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
More of the Call to Freedom is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Monday, August 6th, 2018. Silver is trading at $15.31 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,208 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $23, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,968. Antiwar.com reports that a major blow to the Trump administration's cut-to-zero effort demanding the international community stop buying Iranian oil. China has announced that they have no intention of accepting the U.S. demand. They added that they consider U.S. sanctions counterproductive. China and India are major purchasers of Iranian oil and major focuses of the U.S. demands. Iran's foreign minister says that China is particularly pivotal to saving the P5+1 nuclear deal. The U.S. withdrew from the nuclear deal months ago, but the U.S. was not trading with Iran in the first place. This has meant the administration's focus is on keeping everyone else from trading with Iran in hopes that it will collapse the deal. China is a big part of this, with estimates that they buy about 35% of all oil exported by Iran. Though China is apparently not envisioning raising the amount of oil they're buying, even not lowering the amount goes a long way towards ensuring Iran stays in the market. Iran isn't necessarily losing all of its customers either. Sri Lanka has been discussing keeping oil flowing to them and sending tea as payment. Iran is also courting multiple African countries, notably Ghana, to buy oil and pay with gold. Zencash is an end-to-end encrypted system with zero-knowledge technology over which communications, data, or value can be securely transmitted and stored. With over 13,000 secure nodes, Zencash has one of the most distributed secure node systems of any cryptocurrency, and Zencash now has supernodes. Supernodes will bring network, economic, and technical improvements across the network. Learn more at zencash.com. Zencash.com. UPI reports as crews in California battle 17 wildfires, Governor Jerry Brown asked President Donald Trump for federal money to bolster the ongoing emergency response and help residents recover. More than 14,000 firefighters are working the front lines of the fires, including firefighters from other states. The fires have killed at least 8 people, stretching the state's funds and resources thin as firefighters try to gain control. On Saturday, Brown met with local leaders and emergency officials in Shasta County and requested a presidential major disaster declaration to help fight and recover from fires burning in Lake, Mendocino, Napa, and Shasta counties. Brown said in a statement, battling these relentless fires requires a Herculean effort. Additional federal assistance is needed immediately to reduce the direct threat to public health and safety. If granted, the funds would help victims with crisis counseling, unemployment assistance, food, and legal services. The money would also help state and tribal and local governments repair and replace disaster-damaged facilities and infrastructure such as roads, bridges, and utilities. Last week, Brown declared a state of emergency in Shasta, Lake, Mendocino, Napa, Riverside, and Mariposa counties and secured federal aid to further support those communities which are impacted by the state's largest fire, the Carr Fire. Are you an advocate for free market money? Do you promote Bitcoin as an alternative in a fiat-centric world? Then you need SpendaBit in your arsenal, the search engine for things you can buy with Bitcoin. SpendaBit aggregates millions of products from thousands of Bitcoin-enabled merchants. Keep your money in the free economy. Visit spendabit.co today. Bitcoin merchants, ask about our merchant suite to reach even more customers. Spendabit.co. Reuters reports Venezuelan authorities said on Sunday that they have detained 6 people over drone explosions the day before at a rally led by President Nicolas Maduro, as his critics warned the socialist leader would use the incident to crack down on adversaries. The suspects allegedly launched 2 drones laden with explosives over an outdoor rally Maduro was holding in downtown Caracas to commemorate the National Guard, according to Interior Minister Nestor Reverol. One drone was diverted by security forces while the second fell on its own and hit an apartment building. The attack highlights Maduro's challenges in maintaining control over the country, where widespread food and medicine shortages have fueled outrage and despair everywhere from hillside slums to military barracks. State television footage of the rally showed Maduro startled by what appeared to be an explosion, and footage later panned to soldiers lined up on a boulevard who chaotically broke ranks in what appeared to be a reaction to a second blast. The president later described the attack, which injured 7 soldiers, as an assassination attempt. One of the suspects had an outstanding arrest warrant for involvement in a 2017 attack on a military base that killed 2 people, an incident that followed 4 months of anti-government protest. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Shortly after creating a profile on OkCupid.com, local man Malcolm Lighty, a person with severe psychological and emotional issues, told reporters he thought it was best to just never mention the fact there was something seriously wrong with him on the popular dating website.
The thing about online dating is you don't want to get too personal too quickly. Like, for example, how I'm a textbook narcissist with unresolved intimacy issues, or the fact that I have no sense of empathy. Nobody wants to hear about that. When you're making a first impression, it's important that you keep it casual and don't include too much information. You don't want to be talking about your inability to maintain a relationship because of a history of violent mood swings.
Lighty told reporters while his OkCupid profile includes extensive details about his favorite movies, love of cooking, and interest in cars, he thought he was, quote, just better off not mentioning the borderline personality disorder that makes it impossible for him to connect with another person on any kind of meaningful level.
This is the Onion News Network. The Call to Freedom is an opinion show. It's meant for informational purposes only. It is not licensed financial advice. It is very important to do your own analysis before making any investment based on your own personal circumstances. You should take independent financial advice from a professional in connection with, or independently research and verify any information that you hear from the Call of Freedom and wish to rely upon, whether for the purpose of making an investment decision or otherwise. I mean, come on, guys. Duh. It's a cryptocurrency investment and a political talk radio. Of course, it's opinions.
Hodl. Hodl. Hodl.
You better hold on for dear life, because it's time for the Crypto Hour, brought to you by motionproject.org here on the Call to Freedom.
That's right. It's time for the Crypto Hour here on the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM, brought to you by the Motion Project or motionproject.org, the Kickstarter for your crypto campaign. Put your ideas into motion. So,
I am seriously downloading the Motion wallet right now.
Yeah.
As we speak.
And it is the most user-friendly QT wallet that I've ever had. I didn't have to add any extra nodes or go in and nothing. The wallet auto syncs. I wish Gold Pressed Platinum worked that way.
Yeah.
I love Gold Pressed Platinum. I know that's so nerdy. I wish we could mine it.
Harangue.
I want to mine Gold Pressed Platinum.
So did Quark.
Right.
But he ended up owning a bar instead, which, come to think of it,
Quark.
haven't you tended bar before?
Yes. Quark had an opportunity to sell weapons with his cousin, and now his cousin owns a moon, and he still only owns a bar because he's a people person. I literally just watched the episode like 3 days ago. So, like I said,
I can't get past the first few episodes of Deep Space Nine because
it's a Star Trek series, Arya. Nobody can get past the first few episodes. You do it anyway because the second seasons are so much better.
I don't know, Voyager.
Voyager, yeah, it had a pretty good first few episodes.
It was
The Next
engaging.
Generation was awful.
Voyager was backwards. The first few episodes were good, and the rest of the series was crap.
It got worse as it went along. They took Kess away and introduced 7 of 9, and then it became...
And they pussified the Borg, of all things.
Yeah.
Oh, the most dangerous
Next Generation
thing to
did that.
No, not to the extent Voyager did.
Voyager
I haven't gotten that far yet.
Yeah,
so.
stop. Shh. We haven't gotten there yet. She just got like 5th episode, 6th episode, 2nd season. We're not to any of that stuff yet. They haven't met we haven't met species 4412.
8472.
8472, yeah, whatever. But
you see, that was the good way.
I want to mine Gold Pressed Platinum is now the least nerdy thing we've said during this hour.
Well, it is Crypto Hour. This is the time when we nerd out.
Yeah, it definitely is. So, wow, man, Bitcoin prices under 7,000.
Yeah,
everybody was like, "Woohoo! $8,000, baby!" And then it went all over the place.
You said it's under 7,000 now.
Under 7. I got I've got 6,900. Let me check Bitcoin average. That's my
69.49.21 on CoinMarketCap.
Bitcoin average price. The average price of a Bitcoin right now is the 24-hour average price for Bitcoin is $7,002. The current U.S. index price is not $6,917. Today's open, $7,013. Today's low, $6,893, with a high of $71.44.
On the flip side,
A
Arya,
$94 loss, 1.35% in the last 24 hours from this very moment.
on the flip side, Arya, tell everybody what Ethereum Classic's doing.
I don't want to.
Why? More people buy it at the higher prices. Yours goes up.
Yes, but I intend to flip mine. And I don't want to race a bunch of people in doing that. A bunch more people than I already will be.
Right. See, Ethereum Classic also had another big announcement. Came out today. Platform Robinhood has copied Coinbase. They added Ethereum Classic today.
Coinbase isn't adding it until tomorrow.
That is correct. So,
and if Bitcoin Cash is any indication, we can expect it to between double and triple.
Yay.
Yeah.
Yay. So, all right. Where are we at here? Okay. So, we like to give away free crypto on the show. And when we get new deals with new companies, we try to work that in there somehow. Like we'll charge an extra $15 or an extra $5 on, 3 weeks a month, that kind of stuff in order to make a little extra money. Well, we're not the only ones. We've got our Motion Project giveaway that we give away 10 Motion Project coins every day. Then we also have our soon-to-be bean steak that we'll be giving away once a month. We'll be giving away a steak of beans that it'll come like a node. It'll already be making you money automatically as long as you don't spend it.
Right.
As long as you hold on to it. Well, Smart Drops. Smart Drops are a new way people are talking about to give away free crypto. Are airdrops useful? Well, while the jury's still out about the mechanism used of late to massively distribute crypto tokens to those who already own cryptocurrencies, several industry observers and startups already believe it could be done better. The concept of Smart Drops seems to have garnered some attention after a July Medium post by Yeoman Capital founder and longtime industry investor David Johnston. In it, Johnston encouraged blockchain startups to eschew what has become a standard approach to airdrops, dumping tokens to everybody with an Ethereum address for a more targeted approach. In practice, Johnston told CoinDesk this means intelligently targeting the recipients of an airdrop and giving away a meaningful amount of value, with the objective of attracting real users to participate in the early bootstrapping of a system. And this newly minted alternative seems to be garnering steam. For instance, there's already some precedence to this approach. In fact, Johnston says in his Medium post that he merely recorded best practices and gave substance to this idea that a lot of people have, specifically pointing to projects Dfinity and Polymath as examples of projects that could have conducted smart drops. Sure enough, in June, Dfinity announced plans to airdrop $35 million worth of its tokens to community members that undergo and pass a Know Your Customer and anti-money laundering verification process. Likewise, new companies have emerged to facilitate these improved airdrops. Crypto token management company TRM Labs, for example, recently launched a platform dubbed Smart Drops, of course, that allows projects to distribute tokens to select users and offers issuers analytics as well. So basically what they're saying is that they've figured out a way that you could keep and target all those coins. So instead of sending 5 million Ethereum out and every Ethereum holder gets some Ethereum, you send out 5 million Ethereum, but you get to target where those Ethereum actually go, what wallets those go into.
I mean, which is okay in theory, but it requires a lot of KYC to know anyone beyond their Ethereum address.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so screw that. I mean, I've been the recipient of these mass airdrops. They're completely worthless. They're not worth the time to
flip them.
They can't be flipped. They're that worthless. Wow. I mean, they're like Drama Coin or whatever we called it. They're just completely worthless.
Yeah, it's Drama Coin. It was Drama Coin. You were right.
Yeah. I mean, it's worthless.
Yeah.
It can't be flipped into anything. And neither can these things like simoleons and the other crap I've gotten.
Right. All right. Well, when we get back here, I want to talk about my favorite scam.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
Hey guys, Mark Claire here, lionsofliberty.com, where we strive to advance the ideas of liberty daily. We bring you the Morning Roar. That's right, every Monday to Friday we'll have a brand new edition of the Morning Roar, where we provide a roundup of some news stories that you may not find in the mainstream media or even in your typical social media newsfeed. We find stories that relate to the ideas of liberty and provide you with our liberty perspective on them. Every Monday, we have our longest-running feature, Mondays with Murray, named after the great libertarian Murray Rothbard, where we'll examine an article or an excerpt from his works and help convey his view, along with our little spin as well. We wrap it all up every Friday with Felony Friday, where our own John Odermatt goes out and takes a look at some sort of felony. There's felonies committed every day, you know, whether it's a felony committed by the police, a politician, or even an average citizen. You can find all of this and so much more over at lionsofliberty.com. Advancing the ideas of liberty daily.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
Did you know you can listen to LRN.FM via our free-to-air satellite channels? We have channels over nearly all of North America and much of Africa. All you need is an affordable receiver and a dish as small as 30 inches. There are no monthly fees. Learn more at sat.lrn.fm. Plus, if you are a broadcaster or want to be one, this is a good delivery method for our content. See our coverage maps and get details at sat.lrn.fm. That's sat.lrn.fm. sat.lrn.fm.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
You're listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
تستمتعون إلى برنامج نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.FM.
All right. Welcome back here to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. Broadcasting live from our ZenCast studio here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And you hear Carlos Matos. So you know what that means. It's time for us to talk about Somebody trying to steal your monies, get their fingers in your coin purse. This coming from researchers revealing a network of over 15,000 crypto-related scam bots on Twitter. Research published today has shed light on the infamous phenomenon of cryptocurrency-related Twitter accounts advertising fake giveaways, revealing a network of at least 15,000 scam bots. The analysis of Twitter bots, which continue to aggregate and even fool unsuspecting users, came from cybersecurity company Duo Security. The project involved a huge tranche of 88 million Twitter accounts, with researchers using machine learning techniques to train a bot classifier. Using just the latest 200 tweets from each account, the classifier unearthed a mesh of 15,000 bots at work, spreading fake competitions and impersonating some of the cryptocurrency industry's best-known figures and businesses. Users are likely to trust a tweet more or less depending on how many times it's been retweeted or liked. Those behind this particular botnet know this and have designed it to exploit this very tendency. Duo data scientist Olabode Anisi said in an accompanying press release. Those who've fallen victim to the scam's attempts at identity theft have long changed their Twitter handles to warn others they are not giving away coins or tokens, such as Ethereum. Co-founder of Vitalik Buterin's Twitter, Vitalik, non-giver of Ether. For those actively on crypto Twitter, the bots have become almost part of the scene due to the ubiquity of their fake promotions. Despite their huge numbers, Duo found that the bots are actively engaged in avoiding being shut down. The bots' attempt to thwart detection demonstrate the importance of analyzing an account holistically, including the metadata around the content, Anise continued. For example, bot accounts will typically tweet in short bursts, causing the average time between tweets to be very low. Documenting these patterns of behavior can also be used to identify other malicious and spam botnets. Anisi and fellow researcher, principal R&D engineer Jordan Wright, will present their findings at the 2018 Black Hat USA Security Conference in Las Vegas this Wednesday. Responding to the research, Twitter said that it was, quote, aware of the problem, telling Duo spam and certain forms of automation are against Twitter's rules. In many cases, spammy content is hidden on Twitter on the basis of automated detections. Adding in defense, less than 5% of Twitter accounts are spam related. Well, that makes me feel better that there's a network of 15,000 bots that are working together to scam people out of crypto.
What amazes me is that anyone continues to fall for this. I mean, how desperate do you have to be to turn over money or information to someone you know solely through Twitter?
That you know solely through a tweet, let alone Twitter. You're like, he said that funny thing that one time, and now he says he's giving away free coins. I'm gonna go do it.
I mean, it's bizarre. I mean, people still fall for the whole I'm a Nigerian prince scam.
I'm a dumb hillbilly, and I'm not that stupid.
It's curious, though, the mentality or the vulnerabilities that certain people have that causes them to fall for things like this. I mean, that's what people should be researching. Not how many bots there are on Twitter. I mean, research why people fall for the bots, why certain people fall for them, so that we can address that.
Right?
Because you'll never stop the bots. But you may be able to do something about whatever latent desperation it is that these people have, which causes them to fall for scams such as these. And it seems to me like that would be preferable. But I mean, it's so much more than just Twitter. I mean, you've got scam ICOs all over the place. Too many for anyone to keep up with. I mean, there are hundreds being launched every single day, or at least dozens being launched every single day. And the majority of them are just going to take your Ethereum and run.
Yeah.
You don't need an ICO to really make an Ethereum token. If people are asking you for Ethereum so that they can make a token, then they either have more work to do or they're just trying to scam your money.
Well, yeah. We have like free giveaways, but we're a radio show.
Yeah, we have more of a presence than we're not even on Twitter, really.
No, not really. We should fix that, Tom.
Tom checks out for Crypto Hour.
No, I can always hear it when you talk bad about me.
Yeah.
No matter where I am in the house. You're always like, Tom, tweet at this person. And I'm like, I don't want to tweet at a stranger. What are you talking about? Twitter's just not my thing. But we do have a Twitter that everyone should follow. It's called the #2 Freedom Live.
There you go. And yeah, you should... we need the back doors then. We need the keys to the kingdom.
Giggity.
What's the name of that
You gotta
song?
take me to
I'll be
dinner
your back
first
door
if you
man.
want that.
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Not cryptocurrency, that's for sure.
There's a song that talks about, like, you know, you give them the key and they let themselves in the back of the house while the husband's working away late. It's called I'll Be Your Backdoor Man. Oh, God. We're off the rails here, but we'll be back in just a little while with a discussion of, JP Morgan's CEO has an opinion, and I guess he thinks people in the cryptocurrency community should care about it. So maybe we'll talk about it when we get back. You're on the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people like passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
If you're looking for work, there's a piece of paper more important than your resume. It's the cover letter attached if you're snail mailing, or the email to which you attach your resume. Make it 4 short paragraphs. Paragraph 1, say that you're applying for work. The person you're sending to gets a ton of mail about all sorts of things. If you have a password, that's your first sentence. Tom Nelson tells me you and I should meet. Paragraph 2, what you do and how that relates to the opening. Be as specific as possible. Paragraph 3, why you want this particular job. I'm originally from Boston, so I know the market well. I have family and friends in the area, so this would be a homecoming for me. Paragraph 4, unless the job posting stipulates no calls, and I will call you to follow up. Thank you in advance for your time. From survivalspeech.com, I'm Holland Cook.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. facebook.freetalklive.com.
Join Daryl W. Perry on Peace, Love, Liberty Radio as he brings you news, views, and opinions while promoting the ideas of peaceful interaction.
My personal position on the death penalty is this. We know for a fact that there have been hundreds of people who have been wrongly convicted for various offenses. People who were wrongly convicted of murder and who were sentenced to death, who have later been exonerated. And from that, we can deduce that there have been innocent people who were executed for crimes they did not commit. And the fact that I do consider myself to be consistently pro-life, I don't support using taxpayer funds to kill any human at all, anywhere. Using any money that is taken by force and then used to murder people is wrong.
Peace, Love, Liberty Radio, online at fppradio.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. आप सुन रहे हैं स्वतंत्रता की पुकार सिर्फ और सिर्फ LRN.FM पे।
Very quiet. I'm hunting wabbits.
All right, welcome back into the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. It is our crypto hour here, and it's brought to you by the Motion Project over at motionproject.org. And, well, it is a time for a little bit of FUD. We got a little bit of FUD here for you folks. JP Morgan CEO, he wants to kick some dirt around at crypto again. CEO of JP Morgan, Mr. Jamie Dimon, returns to Bitcoin bashing, calls cryptocurrency a scam.
Well, JP Morgan would know.
Sorry. Oh, his words gave me a little indigestion. Says Jamie Dimon returned to his more critical comments about Bitcoin, calling the cryptocurrency a scam and that he had no interest in it. Bloomberg reported yesterday.
That's code for I lost money.
Yeah.
And I'm salty about it.
Yeah. I got in too late and now I'm lost. Dimon was speaking at the Aspen Institute's 25th Summer Celebration Gala on Saturday, including cryptocurrency as part of general comments he made about the U.S. economic outlook. His words were soon repeated in both the mainstream press and online by prominent economic sources, notably Nouriel Roubini, who has also become known this year for his critical stance on Bitcoin. According to Bloomberg, Dimon further suggested governments may move to shut down the currencies because of an inability to control them.
I mean, yeah.
The finance mogul's history with cryptocurrency has been checkered, having caused a stir in September of 2017 when he originally called Bitcoin a fraud.
Oh my God, no, he didn't. Well,
Dimon thereafter appeared to change tact, later saying that he regretted his choice of words. I wouldn't put this high on the category of important things in the world, but I'm not going to talk about Bitcoin anymore, he told reporters last October.
Which is so identical to the conversation about the internet having the economic impact of the fax machine.
Isn't that funny though that he's like, I'm not going to talk about this anymore
I wouldn't either if I'd been that horribly, tragically wrong.
until I get an opportunity to do it again in August of next year. Oh wait, he said that he wouldn't talk about Bitcoin anymore in October, but then he said something else again in November. And then in January, he told Cointelegraph in private comments that he doesn't want to answer when he was asked how he felt about moving markets with his earlier Bitcoin fraud comments. He did add that he was not a skeptic regarding cryptocurrency. In his recent interview published in the July-August issue of the Harvard Business Review, Dimon again refused to comment directly on crypto, reiterating, I probably shouldn't say any more about cryptocurrency. In the same interview, Dimon also made a point calling blockchain technology, quote, real, while implying that crypto is not, saying that the barking giant is testing it, blockchain, and will use it for a whole lot of things. Good Lord, Daryl. Since then, mixed signals have emerged from other J.P. Morgan sources. The company's co-president, Daniel Pinto, telling CNBC in May that cryptocurrencies are real but not in the current form. He added executives were, quote, looking into the space at a time when fellow giant in finance Goldman Sachs revealed that it was working on offering Bitcoin futures. So there you go, guys. Bitcoin's a scam. Sell all your coins. I'll take whatever you can give me at $4,000 a coin.
Yeah. Well, I mean that whole argument that, hey, this thing being utilized by millions of people throughout the globe, borderless, international, languageless, in effect,
that's why they hate it.
Is bizarre. I mean, it's too big.
That's why they hate it.
To be a scam. It's like saying the internet is a scam. Or
the internet is a scam.
Microprocessing is a scam.
The internet's a scam. The moon landing is a scam.
Well, that one's true.
Alex Jones has been banned from both Apple's podcast store and YouTube.
It's because of the gay frogs.
Well, excuse me, InfoWars has.
It's because of the gay frogs.
Alex Jones is a scam for sure.
The homosexualizing of the deer.
That video, though, that musical remix of him talking about the gay frogs, that better not be pulled from YouTube.
For real, I want to keep that forever.
That is the best thing ever.
The one of him on Joe Rogan, and Joe's just looking at him like, bro, what planet are you from? What happened to you?
See, that's a still image. I had to watch it 2 or 3 times before I realized that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's like, is that Joe being just speechless, just stupefied by what he's hearing? Or is that, just a picture
of Joe with his mouth hanging open?
And it turned out to be just a picture. But I mean, that's exactly the expression I was making as I heard this guy rattle on about seeing little green aliens or whatever.
Yeah.
I was just like,
oh no, that these people are controlled. No. They think they've had they go to another dimension.
Yeah, I haven't been there. You've been there. I haven't.
Bro.
That stuff is crazy.
What happened? I think you went there and you came back, and that's why you're like this.
Did you see his 1999 video about the Russians invading the United States? He's broadcasting this live, arguing that the Russians have now dropped bombs on the U.S.
No, I missed that.
Yeah, that was one of his.
The first thing I ever
debuts.
saw was the Obama deception.
That wasn't a bad. His documentaries aren't awful.
That was the first thing that I ever saw.
But his show is ridiculous.
And I was like, all right, I can listen to this cat. I'll see what this guy's got. This. And I listened to like 45 minutes of his radio show one day, and I was like, is this the same guy? I mean, it sounds like,
right,
but it doesn't sound like the other guy was talking about like stuff that, like you can verify. Like this guy's talking about like they're seeding the clouds with female hormones to turn the frogs gay because it will affect the world ecosystem, and it'll what? They want to destroy all of human society, and they're going to do it by making the frogs gay first. How?
Well, I mean, it sounds like Dr. Evil, man. For Operation Cannot Possibly Fail a 375th time, we're going to need 5 million gay frogs.
Turn the frickin' frogs gay with the shark lasers.
For real, yo. Lasers on their frickin' heads.
On their frickin' heads.
I mean, and he thinks there's a gay bomb that we've used on, I think, Pakistan.
What?
Yeah, he's nuts, dude.
So it's a homo-creating microwave.
Yeah, you know that episode of Brickleberry where they had the gay bomb? He thinks that's real. He thinks Brickleberry is a documentary, I think.
I don't even know what Brickleberry is.
It was this animated series that ran on Comedy Central for a while. It wasn't very good.
Clearly.
That's every comedy series that was animated that ran on Comedy Central for a while.
That wasn't South Park.
Yeah. And even now, South Park is like, ugh.
It's gotten so political.
Yeah.
Make some jokes again, guys.
For real, man. Let's talk about funny stuff.
More potty humor and making fun of Canadians.
For real, that's what I'm talking about. Anyway, when we get back here,
doing it, we will.
Right? When we get back here on the Call to Freedom, we're going to continue on. We've what happened? I know I've got a story somewhere. I don't know what I did with it. All right. Anyway, we'll be back here in just a moment.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Now that you've found the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM, you may want to help expose others to our great programs. To assist you in doing so, you'll find resources at promote.lrn.fm, including details on how to get a free bumper sticker, quarter-page flyers you can print out and distribute, banners for your website, as well as files that will allow you to make your own custom banners and graphics. Visit promote.lrn.fm and help bring new listeners to the Liberty Radio Network. That's promote.lrn.fm.
Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way.
You can do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring signs into the rally.
Walk with me. Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa. Hey. Who do you think you are? Excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today. This is...
You ain't gonna make it.
Wait a minute.
Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable!
Why are you running from me? Because you're scared me. What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this? Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. Unasikiliza wito wa uhuru katika LRN.FM.
All right, welcome back here to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. Broadcasting live from our Zencast studio. It is our Crypto Hour brought to you by the Motion Project over at motionproject.org. Now, the way you can fund your little project is pretty simple. You go to CryptoBridge or CRX24 and buy yourself 1,000 Motion coins. That's it. That's what you do. And you go to the Motion Project website or the Discord room, set up your node, and put your idea into motion. Immediately, within a week, immediately begin receiving payouts, which will help fund your next project, even if, just a couple $100. Usually what I've seen is you'll receive a return on your investment within the first 100 days. So you'll make back whatever you put in within the first 100 days.
Very nice.
And then from there on, you're making money for yourself or your project. So going over to motionproject.org. A little bit later today, we're going to be giving away 10 free Motion coins to get you started on your node as well. So stick around here. Now, I got a story here for you. I knew I had something else. What I'd done is for some reason, I had clicked something. I had 2 copies of the last story about JP Morgan open at the same time. I don't know how I did that, but the Wall Street Journal is reporting organized crypto trading groups manipulated markets and have made over $825 million doing so this year. Right? So, cryptocurrency price manipulations largely conducted by organized trading groups using services such as Telegram, the Wall Street Journal claimed in a study released August 5th. Unveiling the results of research into cryptocurrency markets, the Wall Street Journal suggested that coordinated pump and dump schemes have seen traders inflate and crash the prices of various cryptocurrencies this year. As a result, it says such groups are generating hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue for themselves, while others get stung by losses once the group sells off a particular asset en masse. In the first 6 months of 2018 alone, trading groups generated revenues of $825 million. The Wall Street Journal looked at 175 schemes, trading 121 different coins, stating many more such groups exist, potentially adding millions or tens of millions more in activity. Adding that these, quote, operate in private chat rooms, accessible only by invitation, generally overseen by an anonymous moderator. As an example of trading group behavior, the Wall Street Journal takes Cloakcoin, an older altcoin that experienced several price pumps this year. A sudden growth spurt July 1st on major crypto exchange Binance was the result of a trading group called Big Pump Signal, the Wall Street Journal claims. The price of Cloakcoin skyrocketed on Binance shortly after Big Pump Signal sent a message on Telegram to followers telling them to buy. Prices of Binance's 10 most traded Bitcoin pairs barely moved during the Cloakcoin pump. The findings add a particular dimension to market manipulation theories, which have surrounded cryptocurrency markets in recent months. For Bitcoin, various sources have claimed factors such as Mt. Gox's liquidation sell-offs and major bag holders have caused artificial price fluctuations since 2017's all-time highs, while others have claimed no such activities have influenced markets at all.
Well, it sounds like, at least with that, the truth is going to be somewhere in the middle.
Can we get a pump on some Motion or some Beans or some... Can we get a pump on some of these sponsor coins?
Well, we have what's going on with Ethereum Classic.
Right. What happens tomorrow if Coinbase goes, you know what, guys, we changed our mind?
It's still up.
Yeah, but then it crashes like a stone, and everybody that put their money into it.
Well, Ethereum Classic, I still believe in as far as an idea, so... Excuse me. Okay. So I would hold on to it. If the price bottomed out, I'd rather flip it, but if the price bottoms out, I'll just hold on to it because Ethereum Classic, at least, doesn't hard fork to undermine the stability, reliability, and confidence in its own blockchain in the way that Ethereum does.
Yeah.
And I think that if we're going to seriously use cryptocurrency as a currency, then trust in the immutability of the blockchain is paramount. Nothing really more important than that. Ethereum disagrees and will hard fork their currency, effectively altering past blocks in order to appease certain people. And I think that's dangerous because, if you have, especially with centralized things such as Ethereum, but if you have 51% of the people deciding that, hey, let's just take all the coins from the 49%. We can hard fork it and reduce their coin values, their coin quantities to zero, and distribute them evenly amongst ourselves. Then Ethereum already has the precedent for doing that sort of thing. It would be a more egregious example, but the very possibility itself and the reality that something like that could happen, whether centralized or decentralized, seriously undermines cryptocurrency's main value, which is not being, susceptible to things like the federal government going, well, let's just take away everybody's wealth, like Germany did during the 30s. And like Venezuela is doing now, and the USD is slowly doing.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Ooh, had to plug the phone in. Anyway, so what I see here is just that the Wall Street Journal is trying to... Are they trying to scare people out of the market? Or are they saying, hey, maybe you should jump in on this before these things go away?
Well, I think if an obscure coin, if Motion suddenly skyrocketed to $5, that would be our cue to sell whatever we could. Because, something skyrockets by 100% or 200% or 300% or even more. Then you, especially an obscure coin, you should anticipate that you're in the middle of a pump and dump and you've been caught in it by accident. So sell before you end up on the dump end of it. Sure, other people could pump it higher and make more money. But a bird in the hand is worth two birds in the bush, Do you want to get in on the pump and dump while the coin is 2.5 pennies a piece? Or do you want to wait and miss the opportunity until it's back down to 0.2 1/1000th of a penny a piece? So I mean, just watch the values of your currencies, and if they skyrocket,
without
go
a reason,
to a computer,
right, and go click, 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 goodbye.
I mean, like Ethereum Classic does have a reason. It's being added to major exchanges, and I think Coinbase is the largest exchange in the world. That's going to significantly improve its values. But what was that coin you called it?
Cloak coin.
What?
Cloak
coin. There was no reason for it. It just suddenly started happening. So I guess people are, oh my goodness, look at all the money I'm making. Where's the roof? To the moon. Oh no, I'm poor. It's generally how that conversation plays out.
Yeah, usually. Okay, so we'll be back here in a little while. We're going to have, it's time for a discussion of logic. That's right. We're going to have a discussion of logic. Should be interesting because none of us agree on anything usually. So it should be fun. Anyway, if you want to get involved, give us a call, 603-283-6160. We'll be back right after this.
Laid my proposition down, laid it on the line. I won't slave for beggars' pay, likewise.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Are you tired of your taxes funding endless occupations around the world? Antiwar.com is run by people who understand that wars abroad become wars at home, wars on our freedoms. Antiwar.com is dedicated to bringing you the latest in news, views, interviews, and reviews from the top movers and shakers in the anti-occupation movement. Antiwar.com has it all, from thorough foreign policy analysis to interviews with whistleblowers who used to run the military-industrial complex. Anti-war, pro-free market. That's antiwar.com.
More of the Call to Freedom is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Monday, August 6th, 2018. Silver is trading at $15.31 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,208 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $23, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,968. Antiwar.com reports that a major blow to the Trump administration's cut-to-zero effort demanding the international community stop buying Iranian oil. China has announced that they have no intention of accepting the U.S. demand. They added that they consider U.S. sanctions counterproductive. China and India are major purchasers of Iranian oil and major focuses of the U.S. demands. Iran's foreign minister says that China is particularly pivotal to saving the P5+1 nuclear deal. The U.S. withdrew from the nuclear deal months ago, but the U.S. was not trading with Iran in the first place. This has meant the administration's focus is on keeping everyone else from trading with Iran in hopes that it will collapse the deal. China is a big part of this, with estimates that they buy about 35% of all oil exported by Iran. Though China is apparently not envisioning raising the amount of oil they're buying, even not lowering the amount goes a long way towards ensuring Iran stays in the market. Iran isn't necessarily losing all of its customers either. Sri Lanka has been discussing keeping oil flowing to them and sending tea as payment. Iran is also courting multiple African countries, notably Ghana, to buy oil and pay with gold. Zencash is an end-to-end encrypted system with zero-knowledge technology over which communications, data, or value can be securely transmitted and stored. With over 13,000 secure nodes, Zencash has one of the most distributed secure node systems of any cryptocurrency, and Zencash now has supernodes. Supernodes will bring network, economic, and technical improvements across the network. Learn more at zencash.com, zencash.com. UPI reports as crews in California battle 17 wildfires, Governor Jerry Brown asked President Donald Trump for federal money to bolster the ongoing emergency response and help residents recover. More than 14,000 firefighters are working the front lines of the fires, including firefighters from other states. The fires have killed at least 8 people, stretching the state's funds and resources thin as firefighters try to gain control. On Saturday, Brown met with local leaders and emergency officials in Shasta County and requested a presidential major disaster declaration to help fight and recover from fires burning in Lake, Mendocino, Napa, and Shasta counties. Brown said in a statement, battling these relentless fires requires a Herculean effort. Additional federal assistance is needed immediately to reduce the direct threat to public health and safety. If granted, the funds would help victims with crisis counseling, unemployment assistance, food, and legal services. The money would also help state and tribal and local governments repair and replace disaster-damaged facilities and infrastructure such as roads, bridges, and utilities. Last week, Brown declared a state of emergency in Shasta, Lake, Mendocino, Napa, Riverside, and Mariposa counties and secured federal aid to further support those communities which are impacted by the state's largest fire, the Carr Fire. Are you an advocate for free market money? Do you promote Bitcoin as an alternative in a fiat-centric world? Then you need SpendaBit in your arsenal, the search engine for things you can buy with Bitcoin. SpendaBit aggregates millions of products from thousands of Bitcoin-enabled merchants. Keep your money in the free economy. Visit spendabit.co today. Bitcoin merchants, ask about our merchant suite to reach even more customers. spendabit.co. Reuters reports Venezuelan authorities said on Sunday that they have detained 6 people over drone explosions the day before at a rally led by President Nicolas Maduro, as his critics warned the socialist leader would use the incident to crack down on adversaries. The suspects allegedly launched 2 drones laden with explosives over an outdoor rally Maduro was holding in downtown Caracas to commemorate the National Guard, according to Interior Minister Nestor Reverol. One drone was diverted by security forces while the second fell on its own and hit an apartment building. The attack highlights Maduro's challenges in maintaining control over the country, where widespread food and medicine shortages have fueled outrage and despair everywhere from hillside slums to military barracks. State television footage of the rally showed Maduro startled by what appeared to be an explosion, and footage later panned to soldiers lined up on a boulevard who chaotically broke ranks in what appeared to be a reaction to a second blast. The president later described the attack, which injured 7 soldiers, as an assassination attempt. One of the suspects had an outstanding arrest warrant for involvement in a 2017 attack on a military base that killed 2 people, an incident that followed 4 months of anti-government protest. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
I recently signed up for one of these self-defense classes and brought along a camera crew to watch. Take a good look at this class instructor.
Thank you very much.
Boy, was he smooth. He tried to butter us up with flowery compliments like, "Good work, nice try."
Yeah.
But don't worry, folks, I wasn't letting my guard down for 1 second. Maybe he wasn't planning to attack me at all, but he could potentially plan to attack me at some point, and that left only one option. Take him out first. This is him. This is the guy. My quarry approached, and when the moment was right, I struck. Oh! I knew he'd be able to counter my every move if I just did what he had taught me, so instead, I did exactly the opposite. I beat him with a baseball bat. I am Shelby Cross! Do not ever attack me! Now, folks, I acknowledge that this man may have never been a threat, But a potential threat is just as dangerous as a real one. I don't play games with my life, and neither should you, and that's it.
This is the Onion News Network.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom.
Live on LRN.FM. تستمعون إلى نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.FM.
All right, welcome back into the Call of Freedom here on LRN.FM. Broadcasting live from our Zencash studio here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. It is another beautiful Monday afternoon on your drive home from work at the beginning. Who's got a case of the Mondays? I'm tired. I'm tired. I don't know why, like, all week I've been in bed at 11, up at like 7:30, and then last night my brain was like, and I didn't have much coffee either. My brain was like, so we're staying up to 4 o'clock tonight, just so you know.
Awesome.
And then I'm like, I woke up today, I'm like, yeah, you know, so, but it's been a pretty good, few days here, taking the kids out. They love the whole the Keene Rocks thing.
Yeah,
my wife's a hell of an artist. She is. Found out that one of the rocks from the Keene Rocks group made it all the way to Wisconsin.
Wow.
Yeah, had it right on the back of the rock to go to the Facebook page. She's gonna hide it there in Wisconsin. People are taking them over by the airport and hiding them by the airport. There's an airport in Keene, if you want to call it that. Ian, tell us about the Keene Airport.
Well, it's like a private kind of airport. It's not private; it's public. People can use it, but it's mostly used by private companies. So it's one of those little strips where it's long enough for small planes to land.
Like 5 planes a day come in.
Private jets. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know. I've been there once.
Right. I've never seen an airplane fly over Keene. So.
Oh, you'll see it. It happens.
Yeah. Well, because we lived in Maryville.
They do flying lessons there.
We lived in Maryville, which is right next to the Knoxville. We're like 3 miles from Knoxville's airport where we live.
Oh, okay. Does that mean Kane is now the mayor of Maryville?
No, the mayor of Knoxville.
Oh, okay. Because it said he was elected a mayor of Knox County.
Yeah. Maryville is Blount County. It's the next county over.
Okay, gotcha.
But he's Maryville of all the Maryville. He's mayor of all the area next to where I grew up.
I see. Okay.
And I think the airport is technically considered Knox County, even though it's in Alcoa. So anyway, well,
congrats again to him.
Right? Woohoo! Tom loves talking about Kane and winning elections. He's just disappointed it wasn't where he lives.
Aren't we all?
Close enough.
Right.
Well, now, the county mayor who started all that crap with me on Facebook did lose spectacularly, so that was nice.
Yeah.
Fun.
Yes. So, we've 14 messages already in the chat room since we mentioned that we were going to talk about this in the third hour. So I want to go ahead and get into it. Now, the only university that I know of, and someone please call 603-283-6160. Correct me if I'm wrong. The only college that's teaching to its freshmen as a required course to move forward with classes, ideas like grammar, logic, the trivium, the understanding of logical fallacy. You have to graduate these classes before you can move forward past your freshman year. The only university is Zaytuna College connected to Berkeley.
I mean, we need that for elementary schools.
For real.
We really do, because it's a failure to understand logic that allows people to engage in doublethink. Because, I mean, the first of the logical absolutes is that a thing is itself and cannot be anything else. But then you have people like, well, Mitt Romney was the CEO, but he also wasn't the CEO.
Yeah. Oh, like Rick Scott. Rick Scott's the CEO, but he's totally not the CEO because he signed, it's not his company. He signed it over to his wife.
Yeah. And see, the
it makes it totally
logic, it nips all that in the bud. You know, they both can't possibly be true.
He's not profiting from the drug test.
Well, no, Mitt Romney's was even worse because
is.
he was listed as the CEO. But despite that, you had Romney supporters going, well, he wasn't really the CEO, but he was.
He totally was.
He is on paper as the CEO of Bain Capital in 1999.
Right.
He is literally the CEO.
Yeah.
But not really. He wasn't.
Yeah, he totally was. Anyway, we're going to get into this. It's a short clip from the first class, freshman seminar course, reviewing the trivium, class number 1, logic.
Logic does, it helps you, first of all, understand concepts, because we have to come to terms. Like if I say democracy, what is democracy? What's the genus? If we want to define democracy, what's the genus? Government. Okay, so that's the genus. It's a government. What's the difference between it and other governments? Like inclusion. Okay, inclusion. What? For the people, by the people. Okay, that's a definition. Government of, for, and by the people, right? So it's basically democracy. The difference is the people rule, right? Demos is mob or people, and kratos is rule. So it's the rule of people. So government where people rule. Do we live in a democracy?
I love how he makes sure that he doesn't just say people. He says mob or people.
I love the leftist, the liberal students out there. Let me use government for the people, by the people. It doesn't.
Yeah. He's like, well, that would be a definition.
Yeah, it's a definition, all right.
It's a definition, but, you know, linguistically, demos means the mob or the people. You know what I mean? First, he's like, it's the mob, or it can mean the people, but it means the mob. Is America a democracy?
Well, I mean, there's only so much.
That's arguable. Some people would say yes. How are you defining democracy? How did the founding fathers define the government? Did they call it a democracy? What did they call it? They called it a republic, right? They didn't call. In fact, it only started being called a democracy when Andrew Jackson became president. And even then, it still wasn't, because women were not enfranchised. Certainly, minorities were not enfranchised. So it was basically the rule of white males at that time. And even then, Anglo-Saxon white males, because even the Irish, and you had to have land to vote. So you had to be landed. You had to, So it wasn't really a democracy, right? But it was called that. A republic is res publicus. Representational government. So we're actually more of a republic than a democracy. And so you elect people that represent you. Do they represent you? There's people that believe that we have a corporatocracy, that it's basically the rule of corporations, because they're the ones that are really represented by these rulers, by these elected officials, that they actually work against the interests of the majority of people. But it's still relatively comfortable. People still feel, most people, not all people, a lot of people are suffering and disenfranchised, but a lot of people still feel things work, I'm okay, I'm free, I can say what I want, I've got a job, things are good. So they don't really think about what's happening in Washington, D.C. a whole lot. That's an example, again, where we have to come to terms. We have to, when we speak, if I say Islam and you think Daesh, we haven't come to terms, because everybody in this room, we know that Daesh doesn't represent us. But a lot of people out there think that's Islam. So we have a big problem in trying to communicate who we are and what Islam is, when we have those misunderstandings. So what logic does is it helps people learn how to reason properly, and then learn how to identify mistakes in their reasoning.
All right, so when we get back here, we'll continue on with this discussion of logic on the other side of the break.
Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Nestle Toll House Morsels, helping you create special moments and memories your family will cherish forever. Visit us at tollhouse.com. You may bake for birthdays and holidays, but why stop there? Sweeten up the rest of the year by designating monthly dessert days. Treat your family to one of their favorites or surprise them with something new. Either way, you'll create a tradition everyone will love. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
Did you know you can get news updates about what's happening with the Liberty Radio Network delivered in the way you prefer? You can sign up for our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. Plus, you can stay in the loop by joining our Facebook profile at facebook.lrn.fm or follow us at Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm. It's all free, so sign up now at updates.lrn.fm for news updates delivered to your email box, facebook.lrn.fm to follow our Facebook page, and twitter.lrn.fm to receive our tweets.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
This is Angel Clark, and you're listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
All right. Welcome back into the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. The third hour of our drive home broadcast on this wonderful Monday afternoon. We've been discussing, the concepts within the trivium today, starting with logic, as presented by Hamza Yusuf from Zaytuna College at Berkeley University.
He did make a mistake.
Okay.
He confused the presence of universal suffrage with democracy. And I mean, as he rightly points out, democracy is mob rule. There's nothing within that or within the framework of democracy that requires that every single individual be able to be part of that mob.
He actually went back and corrected himself on that.
Oh, he did? I was going to that part.
Yeah, because, well, he said it about America. I don't know if he pointed out that Greek democracy was also limited to landed freeholders as well.
Well, I mean,
landed free males.
Well, I don't think it really matters which demographic within a society constitutes the mob. You know,
right.
By definition, 100% of the people won't. So someone is going to be disenfranchised, whether it's all white people or all libertarians or all black people. So right. I think universal suffrage is probably a conceit, because I mean, even now we deny it to felons, to people who, you know, and the government is the one who decides who are felons, the state. So
yes, the same people who decide whether or not they can vote.
Yeah, I mean, the same people who made homosexuality illegal, who made smoking pot illegal, are the ones who decided who is and isn't allowed to vote. So, I mean, it's broken from the very beginning, and universal suffrage, while a noble idea, is kind of unrelated to democracy itself.
Tom.
Right. Universal suffrage, oddly enough, has been a creature of the Republic. So, even, like, universal suffrage has not gone along with direct democracy ever. It's gone along with representative government, which is what we have now.
Right, because within
representative, quote unquote.
I would imagine that universal suffrage would be even less existent within a direct democracy, would it not?
Exactly. I mean, that's why our
because you don't.
Why the founders opted for a republic in the first place was because in direct democracy, minority rights were at significantly greater danger than in a representative democracy.
Well, in
or
theory,
representative government.
But what I meant was more that the people in charge of this direct democracy of enacting the will of voters would want to ensure that people who were not constituents were not allowed to vote. Like the UK Brexit direct democracy referendum, I suppose you would be able to justify calling it, whether or not it's technically accurate. They wouldn't want people from the European Union to be able to vote directly in that, even if they were in the country.
I see your point, yeah.
But I don't know, democracy in general sucks. And I mean, it's not really any better or worse than the republic. I mean, sure, in theory, a constitutional republic would be what the American founders had intended. But in practice, it's just a sheet of paper that ultimately rubber stamps what the government does as constitutional, no matter how obviously unconstitutional it is.
Obamacare is constitutional.
Yeah. And as Tom pointed out, it's because our Supreme Court is so limited compared to the Supreme Courts in whatever nation that was that is more charged with upholding the traditions and values of that society. Yeah, Georgia, rather than an esoteric document.
Yeah.
Well, isn't Will wasn't here that day. Will might be a little bit lost on that.
What's that?
Well, we're coming up on cannabis news, but I'll just throw it out there for you. While you were out, we talked about how the Republic of Georgia in Europe, their constitutional court actually found that laws criminalizing marijuana possession and usage were unconstitutional, not based on their written constitution, but based on their general principles as a country. And they have the power to do that, whereas our Supreme Court would have to have a specific constitutional provision to rely on, something in the written Constitution. So we talked about how that system, the courts have more power to protect individual rights than they do in our system.
Well, as far as constitutional republics go, no Supreme Court that is part of the state is ever going to truly hold back the reins of the state. I think it was Rothbard who pointed out that, that's asking the state to police itself.
Which has a very, very poor track record.
Yeah, I mean, we wouldn't need a Supreme Court if the state would properly hold itself to the Constitution. So why do we think that if we separate it off into a Supreme Court, suddenly it will hold itself to the Constitution? It's asinine and insane, I would say. It's like the people say, well, if we just restore the Constitution, it's like, it didn't work the first time, dude. Why on earth do you think it will work the second time?
Or the third.
Prayer, mostly.
Prayer, mostly.
Thoughts and prayers. Bullets will work. I gotta stop saying stuff like that on the air.
Oh, goodness gracious.
So, I mean, there's no other way to stop a tyrannical, out-of-control government that won't even abide its own charter than bullets.
Speaking of the mob and rule of the mob has been out and about, it turns out. In the course of the last few days, there's been, basically a young lady thought that it would be appropriate for her to stare the mob, one of the leaders of the mob, in the face and say, "This is what you are, this is what you say, and this is what you do." And the response
was what we talked about in the first segment, which was, no, our words mean different things when we say them.
Well, not only that, but violence. The mob has responded violently. We will be able to play a little bit of what actually happened, but most of it is in language that we cannot play on the air, but we will be back to let you know who was the latest target of the violent mob out in public today. We get back here on the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with AgristHosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to AgristHosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's AgristHosting.com.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to SaveItPurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. SaveItPurse.com. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Imagine someone in your community getting in their car, turning on the radio, and hearing the Liberty Radio Network. You can make that vision a reality with your own micro radio station. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how you can put our programs on the air in your area. You can have LRN.FM running around the clock, and you can even add in your own local shows. Building a radio station is simple, but programming isn't. That's where LRN.FM comes in. Learn more at broadcast.lrn.fm. That's broadcast.lrn.fm.
Well, it's the end of an era and the beginning of a new one.
Today, Pennington's black part of town moved across the river to North Pennington. The Thompson family sold their home on the east side and moved to the old Kirkland Place at 17 Mansfield Place, establishing the all-new black neighborhood. Northside residents are looking forward to the infusion of fun and funk that the new black part of town is sure to bring to their area. Mayor Mitzi Kranowitz presided over the dedication of the new black neighborhood, unveiling a sign designating it a landmark district.
It's lovely, everyone. Pennington's diversity is its strength, whether it's Little Harlem or the so-called Gayborhood, where Paul and his partner Bryant have that cottage.
Sheriff Stevens today announced that the heavy round-the-clock patrols that helped make the old Thompson house one of the safest neighborhoods in town will move with them.
This has nothing to do with the black part of town moving here. We just want to make sure that everyone here has a comfortable place to live.
This is the Onion News Network.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
You're listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
تستمتعون إلى برنامج نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.fm.
All right, welcome back here to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. Broadcasting live from our Zencast studio here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And we're about to talk about some young, dumb, broke high school kids. Turns out that if you are a person of color, but you step out, basically if you get off of, if you leave
She got to experience what you and I experience.
Yeah, basically. She took Sarah Jeong's tweets and took the word white out and added black and suddenly got banned from Twitter.
No. She didn't put in black. She put in Jewish.
Oh.
Well, she also did black.
She did black multiple. Too. She did multiple.
I thought it was the ones about Jewish people that actually got her banned.
Oh, no.
In the article that you posted on Facebook, they mentioned the Jewish one.
I saw all of them, and there were more than just one. There were multiple ethnic groups acknowledged, and it sounded just as racist as it should.
Yeah.
Because it's racist to say those things about people based on their ethnic group or their skin color or their culture.
And you double that when you make it okay to say it about one race, but not
about the other. Exactly. That is oppression.
Well, I don't think Twitter has the power to oppress.
Well, I don't think it's Twitter that
the
oppresses.
left does want to take those policies and turn them
into government.
Yeah.
They want to turn them into government policy.
We don't need a draft. We need to have a lottery where we randomly castrate white men. That is verbatim calling for horrific oppression.
That one, I'm pretty sure, was a hoax. Because I haven't been able to find any source for it other than the...
Because she deleted this stuff, man.
Anyway.
Yeah, but Fox was able to dig up most of it.
Candace Owens, who was the young lady who got her account blocked, was attacked with Charlie Kirk, who I don't really know. I guess he's somebody from Turning Point, probably. I don't know. Anyway, he's not important enough that I know his name. Candace Owens, on the other hand, I do know who she is, and she was attacked today by an angry mob of Antifa protesters. Most of this we cannot play on the air for you. Some of it we can, and Tom will pantomime the rest.
A call because we're eating breakfast and we happen to be conservative.
They're not Nazis, they're soft fascists. They're the soft fascists, they're not Nazis.
Have a wonderful day. Enjoy your capitalist breakfast.
All right, so that's as far as we can play, is that first 16 seconds.
Since Tom isn't on video, I'll pantomime it.
Oh yeah, that's right.
All right, so
Arya will provide the visuals. I will provide the audio.
All right,
what we're gonna do. Okay. So after the point where we have to turn this off, they begin the following chant: 1, 2, 3, F the bourgeoisie. 4, 5, 6, F the bourgeoisie.
Because not only can the left not meme, they can't rhyme either.
He can't,
remember
he
back
isn't
in
even
the day.
kidding, okay, he's not kidding.
Nope,
that's what they say.
I'm not making it up. I couldn't make it up. I couldn't, like, it pains me to say that out loud because I want it to rhyme.
I wish I had the talent to make up something that stupid on purpose.
Okay,
It's
so
like
we have to
South Park levels of this is how dumb you look.
It's like
So
going
then
into
we-
an office going rabble, 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 rabble.
right? So then we fast forward a little bit because you can't play anything that they say for like 30 seconds. And then we get this little gem.
Big government sucks? Wait, what sucks about big government? Let's talk about that one. What sucks about big government is the fact
So, oh yeah, wait, hold on.
that y'all are part of big government.
Okay, so we can't go any further past that because they go back to the F the bourgeoisie thing again. But what sucks about big government?
Yeah, and that's remarkable coming.
Oh, wait. And that Candace Owens is big government.
And these people are advocating. Hold on. So this woman they're protesting or shouting at or whatever, she's a Republican, right? Part of the state to some degree. They're accusing her of being part of the big government. But they like big government and they don't understand what's wrong with big government, even as they're talking to someone whom they are protesting because they don't like that that person has become part of the big government.
She's not a part of the government, though. She's just a commentator and activist.
This is why we need the logic so badly, because the root problem here is not the lady there or Trump or anything like that. It's that the government, when you have one and it's big and it's powerful, it will, and especially when you have a democracy or a republic, it will end up in control of people who you don't like, of people who disagree with you.
Yeah, she's...
and that's inevitable.
She says that abortion is the extermination of black babies. She advocates an end to all welfare programs. She's big.
Well, she's not, I don't know, man. She's not wrong about abortion. Down syndrome babies and black babies are overwhelmingly likely to be aborted.
Yeah, it's pretty well known that abortion clinics are in low-income neighborhoods, and especially those populated by minorities.
I mean, I'm pro-choice, but I'm looking at this going, man,
she's
something
a
is wrong here.
stereotype. She's a border hawk, pro-Israel, anti-press. Yeah, she's black. She's a stereotype. She's
which makes her not a stereotype, but a race traitor.
Exactly. And and you know what? The only people that hate race traitors more than white supremacists are liberals.
I have seen white liberals call black people race traitors.
I have too. I've seen,
and it just shocks you every time you see it.
I've seen a guy that wrote a book about the evils of racism and white supremacy call an imam that was black a coon.
Oh my God.
Because he spoke out against white privilege theory.
You know, and I'm going to catch some flack for this, but I have to ask, this white privilege thing, it could not have just come from nowhere, right?
No, it's an idea that was thought up.
No, I don't mean the idea itself. Let's say white privilege is 100% true, that white people today have privilege. Where did that privilege come from? It was inherited by other white people, right? Okay, so going all the way back to where it very first began. Are you seriously arguing that white people are more intelligent, more powerful, stronger, faster, whatever it takes to oppress the other races? Because that's what white privilege ultimately comes down to. That at some point in history, white people were able to overpower and oppress and marginalize every other race on the planet. And that we were so good. Hold on, Tom.
Specifically in
Tom,
this country.
This is an important point. And not only were we so good at it, that we were able to do it to every race on the planet, but it has persisted for centuries and thousands of years without conscious effort to perpetualize it or to continue it.
I challenge thee without conscious effort. But specifically, white privilege is used to describe the privilege that white people enjoy in the United States.
But as a result of white people in history overpowering people who were not white, either intellectually or physically.
Can we at least admit that it's just not, it's not a good look to send someone with a Harvard degree and a Movado watch holding a latte, riding a limo from event to event to lecture, people that use, those area medical event group. You know what I'm talking about, Tom. Where there's literally no dentists. You can't even get cell phone service in these places. And they're lecturing those people, with their Harvard degree and their latte in their hand about how they are privileged over the guy with the latte in his hand because, my skin is 3 degrees darker than yours in melanin.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com. Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
The 3 most important things you can do for LRN.FM are: 1. Let your friends know you're listening to LRN.FM on your social networking profile. 2. Buy the things you buy online through shop.lrn.fm. 3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm. It's my firm belief that the AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented groups. Support all your favorite organizations, but make sure you give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
Fact. The new NSA data center in Utah requires 1.7 million gallons of water every single day to operate. Billions of Fourth Amendment violations need massive computers and the water to cool them. That water is being supplied by the state of Utah. Fact. There's absolutely nothing in the Constitution which requires your state to help the feds violate your rights. Our message to Utah: turn it off. No water equals no NSA data center. Visit offnow.org.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. आप सुन रहे हैं स्वतंत्रता की पुकार सिर्फ और सिर्फ LRN.FM पे.
Let's focus our discussion first on marijuana, okay? Marijuana has a very distinct smell, okay? I'm going to pass around just a little tiny bit, and I want you all to take a smell so you know when someone is smoking marijuana near you.
All right, welcome back into the Call to Freedom for our final segment of the show, the only spot you can get some libertarian cannabis news here. It is the cannabis news segment here on the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM, and it turns out Ohio is having some troubles with how to get edibles. You know, it's not hard. You take some cannabis, you put it in the oven, and then at about 250, you heat it up, you add it to some butter. I don't know, it's a recipe.
You add it to some butter and use it to make some cookies or some brownies.
For real, yo. I mean, it's not hard. But because of government regulation, of course, it appears Ohio's having some difficulty scrounging up enough reputable cannabis companies to produce a variety of pot products for the state's medical marijuana program. The Ohio Department... This
sounds like a capitalist opportunity.
No, this sounds like a government regulation that's standing in the way of capitalist opportunity. It appears that, let's see here, the Ohio Department of Commerce recently issued its first round of processor licenses, approving only 7 out of 104 applicants. The state says the majority of businesses interested
Sounds like
in producing
Palestinians
marijuana
trying to get building permits in Israel or the West Bank.
Well, it says here that the state says that the majority of the businesses that want to produce marijuana-infused oils and treats, well, they don't meet the minimum requirements set by the state. So now it's back to the drawing board. This means there are several opportunities for stand-up cannabis operations to get in on the ground floor of the Buckeye bud scene, but only if you're a rich autocrat with corporatist connections. The state is permitted to grant 40 processors licenses. They've only done so for 7 of their fat cat friends. During the initial round, the approved processors will be responsible for manufacturing and distributing cannabis-infused brownies, creams, patches, and other non-smokable forms of the herb to local dispensaries, of course, in keeping with Ohio's regulations. You like how I did that right there, right?
Yeah.
Ohio. Ohio, acting like California. Reports indicate it's possible that 6 more applicants might be given the green light if their background checks and tax checks come back clean. Some of the failed applicants will also be given another chance to repay and reapply. The licensing snag is just another in a cluster of missed opportunities. Ohio's medical marijuana program has been struggling to get off the ground since voters slapped their seal of approval on it 2 years ago. But you know how things work in conservative states when the voters vote against what the conservative politicians want. As we saw in Florida, and it had to be struck down by the state Supreme Court, and again in Oklahoma, and that had to be struck down by the state Supreme Court, and now it looks like it's happening again in Ohio. Big surprise. 2 months ago, state officials confirmed that the medical marijuana program would not be launching in the beginning of September like was promised to voters because, screw them. Incidentally, this is the cutoff for when the law mandates the program be fully operational, meaning that the government itself is now violating the law. And who's going to go to jail? Oh, nobody. Cannabis cultivators are blamed for the delay, of course. As of June, only one of the approved grow operations was ready for state inspections, according to Mark Hamlin, senior policy advisor for the Commerce Department. See what I said?
But is this because of any fault of the growing companies, or because the regulations that are being put in place are so
insane
that they were meant to make them delayed?
Yeah. There's no word yet on how much the Commerce Department's latest licensing debacle will set the program back. It's almost as if it was designed to do so. The 7 approved cannabis processors, Ohio Grown Therapies, Fire Rock Processing, Ohio Green Grow, Greenleaf Therapeutics, I know them, Grow Ohio Pharmaceuticals, Standard Farms Ohio, and Corsa Verde, odd name, have all been issued provisional licenses. They now have 6 months to build their facilities and pass the state's health and safety standards before they can be cleared for operating licenses.
That is not very much time.
This means that while it's possible that medical marijuana patients might get their hands on plant forms of the medicine for vaping purposes by the fall, it'll be at least 2019 before they're able to purchase edibles or topicals. It's easy to see why the Ohio cannabis industry is so frustrating with the state's lag and drag. The application fee for both standalone and vertically integrated operations is $10,000 plus a $90,000 operation fees. These must be renewed every year at a rate of $100,000 per year. Perhaps the state should consider waiving the renewal fee for the first year to help industries participants.
This is idiocy.
They're trying to bankrupt the industry before it ever gets started.
I mean, yeah, but okay, that's one point. But I'm thinking about this from a tax perspective, and there's no amount of licenses no amount of money they could charge for licenses and things like that they wouldn't make just from letting these people sell the pot and taxing it, which I'm not a fan of, but that's the way things go as they currently are. So, I mean, how much money would they make from taxing it for 1 year versus how much they're making from these licenses for 1 year? The two won't be remotely equal. I mean, taxes for marijuana in other states are paying for entire school districts or the entire state's school districts. It's like a lottery for people who smoke weed, only they don't win anything. Except, some freedom, I guess. It's just a pretty good prize, but...
Well, I'm looking... Here it is. Let's see. Who is it? Just say no to Responsible Ohio. Profits, not people. Who was it, though? The country's largest marijuana investor. More pot shops in the state has Starbucks. Ohio Rights Group. Yeah, but who was pouring the money into preventing it?
Republicans.
Well, yeah, but I'm looking at there were companies that did so, and it's like, who was it though?
The pharmaceutical companies, I would bet.
Well, it's not always them. Sometimes there's a big lobby of like Wisconsin. It's going to be hard because of all the beer.
Bayer brand marijuana just doesn't even sound right. Get your Watson brand CBD oil.
Right? Ew. You can make it yourself. That's why they hate it so much.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
I'll tell you one
fun.
better than that. Equate marijuana. The Walmart
Equate
store
marijuana
brand
edibles.
Ugh.
No. The edibles would be Sam's Choice edibles.
Hey, in most cases, I don't have any issue with Sam's Choice and Great Value brand stuff. Chocolate syrup is the only thing that I'm really aware of that you have to get the name brand of.
Have you ever had their knockoff Mountain Dew? Speaking of things that appear to stoners.
Fair enough. I don't drink a lot of soft drinks, so I do lately, but not ordinarily. But I don't think I would want store brand marijuana anyway, now that we're no longer steeped in black market marijuana, because that's essentially what you got when you bought it on the black market, was what you would call store brand quality. There was no telling what you were going to get.
Adelson's the one who's pouring money into it.
I don't know who that
is.
is.
The healthcare industry
Sheldon
is
Adelson?
also pouring money in. The liquor industry, campaign, Common Cause, beer distributors of Massachusetts, the wine and spirit wholesalers. So yeah, it's the alcohol companies and Sheldon Adelson.
Well, because nobody would drink.
Why does Sheldon Adelson care? Why? Does he have like major business in alcohol? I mean, that's the only thing I can think of. Anyway, we'll be back tomorrow. It'll be Tuesday, and we'll be here with plenty more to talk about. We'll have Chris with us from Think Penguin, but don't go anywhere right now because Free Talk Live is coming up next.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at survivormax.com.
You're 6 minutes away from a live episode of Free Talk Live, brought to you by freekeen.com. Listen live at freetalklive.com.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Monday, August 6th, 2018. Silver is trading at $15.31 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,208 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $23, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,968. Antiwar.com reports in a major blow to the Trump administration's cut-to-zero effort, demanding the international community stop buying Iranian oil. China has announced that they have no intention of accepting the U.S. demand. They added that they consider U.S. sanctions counterproductive. China and India are major purchasers of Iranian oil and major focuses of the U.S. demands. Iran's foreign minister says that China is particularly pivotal to saving the P5+1 nuclear deal. The U.S. withdrew from the nuclear deal months ago, but the U.S. was not trading with Iran in the first place. This has meant the administration's focus is on keeping everyone else from trading with Iran in hopes that it will collapse the deal. China is a big part of this, with estimates that they buy about 35% of all oil exported by Iran. Though China is apparently not envisioning raising the amount of oil they're buying, even not lowering the amount goes a long way towards ensuring Iran stays in the market. Iran isn't necessarily losing all of its customers either. Sri Lanka has been discussing keeping oil flowing to them and sending tea as payment. Iran is also courting multiple African countries, notably Ghana, to buy oil and pay with gold. Zencash is an end-to-end encrypted system with zero-knowledge technology over which communications, data, or value can be securely transmitted and stored. With over 13,000 secure nodes, Zencash has one of the most distributed secure node systems of any cryptocurrency, and Zencash now has supernodes. Supernodes will bring network, economic, and technical improvements across the network. Learn more at zencash.com. Zencash.com. UPI reports as crews in California battle 17 wildfires, Governor Jerry Brown asked President Donald Trump for federal money to bolster the ongoing emergency response and help residents recover. More than 14,000 firefighters are working the front lines of the fires, including firefighters from other states. The fires have killed at least 8 people, stretching the state's funds and resources thin as firefighters try to gain control. On Saturday, Brown met with local leaders and emergency officials in Shasta County and requested a presidential major disaster declaration to help fight and recover from fires burning in Lake, Mendocino, Napa, and Shasta counties. Brown said in a statement, battling these relentless fires requires a Herculean effort. Additional federal assistance is needed immediately to reduce the direct threat to public health and safety. If granted, the funds would help victims with crisis counseling, unemployment assistance, food, and legal services. The money would also help state and tribal and local governments repair and replace disaster-damaged facilities and infrastructure such as roads, bridges, and utilities. Last week, Brown declared a state of emergency in Shasta, Lake, Mendocino, Napa, Riverside, and Mariposa counties and secured federal aid to further support those communities which are impacted by the state's largest fire, the Carr Fire. Are you an advocate for free market money? Do you promote Bitcoin as an alternative in a fiat-centric world? Then you need Spendabit in your arsenal, the search engine for things you can buy with Bitcoin.